Hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to my session on Metaverse, the complete stream. And as you probably know, I'm covering each and every aspect of Metaverse in this particular stream, and it can be called a series on Metaverse, where I'll be covering the technology part, the economics part, the component parts, and everything else. Okay. So in the earlier sessions, I was talking about the need for Metaverse. Why do we create Metaverse? The reason why we are creating metaverse is to simply to overcome one of the barriers that we have. It is called space gap. That means I and you cannot be at the same location or same space to interact with each other. So that is one of the barriers that we are facing, and metaverse is expected to overcome that. In the second session, I was talking about the uh, blockchain, how it is going to create a foundation for the economic activities or transactions. Because when I create a new world and if I want to attract people to that world, then I need to build infrastructure for them to conduct those activities. And one of the famous or one of the most general activities actually either buying or selling or giving or taking for the value transactions. So that we created using blockchain. There is one more thing that we need to create in this world, that is a space so that people can come together and interact. And that is what I am going to cover today. So in this episode number 4, it's called Extended Reality in the Metaverse. What I'll be talking is Metaverse is a technological creation, and it consists of many technologies, and each technology has some contribution to make. As I mentioned already, the blockchain provides me the economic foundation to conduct transactions. But there are other components that I need to create. That is what today's session will be talking about. Okay. So the brief agenda for today's presentation is why Metaverse needs XR, that is extended reality, and what is extended reality, and the categories of extended reality, and how to work with extended reality. So this is the brief agenda for today's session. So let me look back and just narrate what actually happened in the previous classes. We have told that Metaverse is a confluence or the combination of an assorted set of technologies. So we have artificial intelligence here, we have extended reality here, we have Internet of Things over here, blockchain here, 5G networks, and cloud. And we know that these technologies are present here because they are going to make a particular contribution in the construction and the maintenance of the metaverse. Okay. And now, earlier in the previous class, actually we studied about blockchain and how does it actually going to help us to create an economic foundation. Okay. So each technology contributes to one or more functionalities. That means I need to execute this metaverse idea. So to execute, I should enable people to conduct those activities. And this enablement I am conducting through using a particular technology. So, as I told earlier, blockchain provides a decentralized P2P network for the value exchange. That's the reason Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrency which will help you to exchange values. And in another session also, I have covered something called NFT, that is non-fungible tokens, which will help you not only to create value, to capture those values in a unique things and trade them in the metaverse. One more thing that I need to create the metaverse is actually a extended reality. And why do I need extended reality, and how is that I'm going to create that, I will be explaining now. So before we try to understand extended reality, we need to understand the difference between the current internet that we have today and the internet that we are going to create tomorrow. We know that metaverse will be created on the internet. But what is the difference between the internet we are going to create and the internet that we have, that we have to understand so that we can really appreciate why do we need extended reality. See, one of the characteristics of today's internet, it is called linear. Okay, what linear means is actually now it is separated. There is a distance between user and the internet. So at present, internet is something we look at. That means now I am making this presentation looking into my desktop and reading the content on a presentation and by talking that. Maybe each one of you actually also looking at your mobile or the desktop screen and attending this. That means currently we look at the internet. That means we don't actually do anything else, we actually look at. So for that, what we are doing, we are using browsers and search engines. That means We go to our computer screen through keyboard, we touch that. Means we keep looking on the screen all the time. Okay. The metaverse is totally different. Actually, in metaverse, we actually enter into the internet. That means we are not away. Machine is not away from us. We are inside the internet. So that means to get ourselves into the internet or to become inside of the internet, we need to create that space. So the metaverse, unlike the current internet, which is linear, it is a spatial structure. Spatial means it will always have three dimensions: length, breadth, and depth. Okay. Now that is the fundamental difference between the metaverse and the current internet. Current internet is linear, where we are outside the internet, and in the metaverse we are inside the internet. And you know the Facebook, which is now called Meta, is the leader in the creation of the metaverse. The leader of that company called Mark Zuckerberg says you can think of metaverse as an embodiment. That means your body will be inside the internet. Now it is outside, right? You are maybe sitting in front of your mobile screen or your desktop screen. But when metaverse is created, you'll be inside that. Embodied means actually inside. For example, we have embedded systems. Embedded systems is the circuits are built into a particular device. Similarly, the metaverse, we will be embodied into the internet. That means we will become part of the internet. We are internet. That means you are in it, not you are outside of it. So this is a very fundamental difference between the current internet, and this is the reason and the cause for creating 3D spaces using extended reality. So now the reality, now you realize that we live in two worlds. One is the real world where wherever you are, that means you are sitting in your room or college, wherever, and I am sitting in my college. So this world is real world. And we also have a 3D world, which is created by the metaverse. Now the next job is, now we have real people and we have virtual world, and how do I connect them? So we need to connect them, these worlds, and help people move in and out of these two worlds. That means I should be in the real world. I also should be able to enter into the virtual world. Actually, in biology, we are called amphibians. If you know frog, no, frog can live within water also, on the land also. Such animals are called amphibians. Okay, that means they can live in two different atmospheres. So now we should make this same similar ability to humans. That means they should be available, when they should be able to live in the real world, which already they are living, and also in the newly created virtual world, which is metaverse. Okay. Now for this, we use a new technology called extended reality. So what extended reality does is, it will allow user to enter the metaverse. That means you need to enter before you become inside of that. And by doing so, it will close the perceived gap between digital and physical world. So when we say real world, it is physical world. I can touch my table, I can touch my screen. Okay. Now digital world I cannot touch, but using this extended reality, I can enter. Once I enter that space, I mean, at the virtual world, I can do many activities. So in summary, if metaverse represents a set of free spaces online, so then extended reality is the underpinning of that virtual reality. That means it will help me to create that digital world and an entry point to that, and it will take me into that world. So now you understand why do I need XR? XR I need because metaverse is a virtual thing. So to create a virtual, I need a technology, and that is provided by the virtual, the extended reality. So what extended reality does is, it's a kind of an enabler. Enabler means which will make me able to do something. For example, browser today will enable me to go to internet and search different websites. Okay, search is a tool which will enable me to go into internet and search for different things. Okay, similarly, the extended reality will actually help me to step into events. That means I can enter an event that is happening in the metaverse, like a concert or a meeting. Okay. And I also can go to visit, like I can go to a virtual mall and visit stores. Okay. And also if there is a virtual classroom in the internet, on the metaverse, I can learn. For example, there is something called virtual learning, which is actually happening on the metaverse. So extended reality is a technology which will help me to create that world and start participating in that. Similarly, there are varieties of extended reality. There is one called augmented reality and mixed reality. These are actually different combination of the virtual reality, which I'll explain before, after this. Okay. But the point that you should remember is, metaverse is a virtual world. I need a technology to create it, and that is given by extended reality. And this extended reality will help me to move between two worlds. One, the real world that I'm sitting now, that where actually I breathe, eat, sleep, and all, onto the virtual world, which is created by the metaverse. So essentially, what it does, it will remove the gap between the virtual and the real world. So that's the reason I want extended reality. So now the question naturally is, what is this extended reality? Extended reality is something very simple. Actually, it is a technology which is consists of virtual reality, which is completely false. Okay, mixed reality, which is a combination of virtual reality and other reality, and then augmented reality and immersive. So immersion, probably you know, immersion is a process where actually you get into something. For example, we have immersion coils in our bathrooms to make water hot. So if I want hot water or warm water for my bath, no, there is something called immersion coil. I put it into the bucket and actually switch it on so that it will become warm. So their immersion means the immersion coil will get dipped into the water. Similarly, in the metaverse, the individuals will be dipped into, that means they will enter. For example, when frog enters sea, it is immersed into the water. So extended reality is one which will help us to create immersive experiences, and this consists of four categories: virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, and immersive reality. So the first category of virtual reality is called augmented reality, which actually combines, that means augment. Augment means add. For example, there is something already and I am adding something to that. That is called augmented. And kindly note this, in augmented reality, virtual information, remember this, virtual information and objects are overlaid. Overlaid means keep above something. For example, if I keep a flask on my table, that means I have overlaid my flask on my table. Okay, so that is what is. Okay, and now see the example. Okay, and we all know cricket is look at this.
Absolutely hitting me to stop that missing link. He knows the bloke in the truck.
So now you can see what virtual reality can do. Okay, for example, these lines that you see in the picture above the pitch, they are not real, but they are augmented reality because they are added above the this. Look at this. The previous one I showed you the slide. Okay, so this augmented virtual information is and object are overlaid. So how do I overlay? So there is a pitch already. Above this, actually, I put this PJ. Can you see this image? This one. Okay. And similarly, in a match, actually, I'm showing you the direction of the ball. So this is called augmented. That means there is a reality already existing. I'm adding that. So this is one component of the virtual or extended reality that we are going to use in the metaverse. So that means if I create a game and if you are playing it, then actually I'm going to add characters as the augmented reality on your existing environment. The second example, which is very famous, probably you know that if you are a user of a Instagram or a Facebook, it will allow you to something like this. Okay, application like this one actually, and now this as actually is an augmented reality component. So there is a real person here. and using a filter, what is called filter technology, he has created this one. This is playing now. Okay. So now what has actually happened? There is a real world here, and I have added this digital infrastructure, I mean digital content. So how do I do that? I use using digital filters. So filters are those technologies which will look at your face, use some AI algorithms, and they suggest you certain things to be overlaid on it. So what I'm telling to try to tell you, I mean, trying to tell you is this: extended reality is a component of metaverse, and it will help you to create different kind of impressions of the world. So first one is called augmented reality. That is actually adding additional information to an existing reality. Okay, and this is the second example. And now you look at third example. Here actually somebody has a tattoo on their back, and now that is actually in the black color. So now if you see that actually it is being played. Okay, now it's changing its color and all. But nothing is changing on the back side, I mean the back of that particular person. This is done by changing additional information. That's actually I'm wrapping up. That means there is a back of a person who already has a real tattoo on his back, but now using augmented reality, I'm adding certain pictures or some effects onto this. Okay, and this comes under what is called photography and editing. Okay, so this is another application of augmented reality. So to create metaverse, I need extended reality because I have to create a space, and after creating the space, I will put content. So I showed you three examples where augmented reality can be used, which is a fundamental component of the metaverse. Now there is another kind of extended reality called virtual reality, which is just opposite of what I mean augmented reality. Augmented reality is something which is real plus something which is unreal. For example, there is a cricket pitch on which you see a moving ball. That moving ball is a created thing, which is not true. And similarly, you have a person and a tattoo on her back, and now you are creating another impression on that. That is the unreal part. But the real part is the individual and the tattoo on him. Similarly, we have seen the filters where actually the person is real, but the tattoo, the filter is which is created. But in the virtual reality, everything is created. For example, you look at this. This is what it is. Now there is a person, and this is the completely virtual reality. That means there is nothing true in this. So the moment you start playing the game, you actually lose contact with the real world surrounding you. So this is just exactly opposite of the augmented reality. In augmented reality, you remain in the real world and still you have digital content, whereas in virtual reality, everything is unreal. So this virtual reality has many applications. For example, if you see there are school children and they are studying the world map actually. So now since they are within the virtual real environment, what is actually happening? Actually, they can see the entire world in the three dimension, and they can go to any country of their choice. For example, they want to come here like this country or African continent, they can actually enter there and feel both the desert and the forest there. Okay. So VR is another component in our extended reality, which will help us to create a space and ask people to come over there. Now, notice one more thing. Today in the internet, we are using only two of our senses. That means I can see something on the screen or I can hear, which is on my earphone. That means we have actually more senses. For example, we have a smell, we have a touch, we have some more things like, okay. Now, metaverse, since being a virtual world, I want to create spaces or some opportunities for all other human senses. For example, touching or smelling and all. So that is created by what is called a haptic technology. Haptic technology will help you to touch a person, I mean, touch a thing within the metaverse. For example, if you are a doctor, you can touch that patient and understand its body temperature using this haptic gloves. Okay. Similarly, you can hold his hand and find out the pulse. Normally, pulse is also recorded to see whether a person is healthy or not. Okay. So what I'm telling is, unlike the current internet where you can only see and hear, you can in the metaverse you can actually create not only hear and touch, you can also smell, you can also touch, you can also feel that one. Okay, and this is called haptic technology. And in fact, our great person Elon Musk has a company which is creating what is called computer brain computer interface, where actually there will be a device which will be put onto your head, and whatever you think, the thoughts are directly converted into an actions on the metaverse. Since extended technology will allow you to get into and get dipped into the extended reality, they are also called immersive technologies. Okay, the word immersive indicative of engaging nature. That means when you are playing a game, you don't feel the surrounding world at all. Okay. So the summary of today's session is XR is a gateway to the metaverse. That means if you want to create a metaverse, you need extended reality. And if you want to participate, and so you have to enter that one, actually you need extended reality. And it's a building block of the metaverse foundation. The way blockchain gives you a economic foundation, metaverse gives you the virtual space. This one. Okay. Okay. So, okay, Ananya has asked a question. Not sure what XR means in this context. Let me answer. Probably after my presentation, you have heard this. But an extended reality is a set of technologies which help us to create virtual spaces which are required for the metaverse. So virtual space is an artificial space where I can get people into that. For example, I can teleport you and myself into virtual space so that I can make this presentation in the metaverse. Okay. And many companies have actually started using that. So simply put, extended reality is a virtual space created for the metaverse where I can teleport people and allow them to act or allow them to participate. For example, a company can create a virtual space, metaverse, and ask its employees to enter that world, okay, through their avatars, and they will participate there. Okay. Kaustubh is asking, what does metaverse look like? It would look like a real world what we are today, except that it happens on the virtual world. What it means is actually, assume that you are attending my session in a metaverse world, then you will feel that I and you are sitting in the same room and attending the session. Today, you don't feel that. That means there's a space gap between you and me. Okay, you are there somewhere in your home or your college, and I'm in my college. But if I were to conduct this event in the metaverse, the feeling would be like that I and you are together in the same space. Although it is virtual, we are participating, we are entering that virtual space through our avatars and probably using other handsets and other things. Ananya says, can metaverse be 2D? Okay, it can be 2D because internet is already 2D now, because there is a length and breadth, right? You have a distance between your monitor and yourself. But then you will not have many of the features of the internet, the metaverse that we want to have. Okay. Okay. How will metaverse will affect economy? Gagan. Okay, I will try to answer this question. Okay. And look at this. See, metaverse, we have something called blockchain. Okay. When blockchain will create economics. And now, coming to you, Gagan. Okay. Economy. Since I allowed people to conduct transactions in the metaverse using cryptocurrencies, people will start buying and selling. Okay. Now, once they start buying and selling, there is economy. And how does it affect? It will certainly affect because more and more people will participate in the metaverse, and there are many things to buy and sell. For example, if you are a gaming enthusiast and you know that you can actually buy a weapon, buy an avatar, buy a bullet or a gun in the metaverse, and they are all paid services. That means it is helping some people to make those creations and what we call actually content creation and making a lot of money by that. And now there are many countries like Philippines and all where low-income people actually participate in the metaverse, play games, and earn a lot of money. This is called play to earn. That means they actually play, earn certain achievements within a game, and sell them and make money between like $300 to $400 per month. Okay. At a higher scale, actually, For example, if you have a unique items like a signature or a particular artistic piece or a song or a musical concert and all, then actually then also they become a commercially or economically valuable things that you can buy and sell them. So the answer to Mr. Gagan is it will create a new economy called digital economics. The foundation of that will be cryptocurrency. Based on that, you can actually create many items, either artistic or music or in general it is called content creation, and all of them can also be sold, bought, and traded on the metaverse. So answer to Gagan is yes, it will not only create, it would affect, and to certain extent it would be in a parallel. That means we have a real world, real economy. This will have start as a small scale, but then it will grow. It is something like internet economy. Before internet came, we did not have digital economy at all. Everything was happening in the real world, Indian rupees and all. Now the software or like Netflix film company and all, they are conducting every activities on the internet. No, that's the internet economy. Similarly, when we move to metaverse, we will have a metaverse economy. I think Ananya's question I answered. Okay. And is the metaverse VR or 3R? We need no. It's a combination of that, depending on what I want to create. For example, if I'm trying to create a game, then I will extensively use virtual reality. But suppose I want to create an application. For example, assume that you want to buy some sofa set or a furniture to your home. Okay, then actually I can create an augmented reality application which you can download to your mobile, where actually you can select an item or a particular furniture from the online shop and the metaverse and bring it to your home and see whether it matches the color and the background of your house. So that kind of augmented reality will be used there. Okay, and so Metaverse, Mr. Vinith, is built both on virtual reality and augmented reality, and we actually combine them into different degrees, and that is called mixed reality. So, answer to your question is the Metaverse is both VR, AR, sometimes combination of that. Okay. Okay, Mr. Vivek is asking which crypto will be used in the metaverse. Okay, see the ideal metaverse will use different currencies. For example, assume that there are 200 countries in the world and each country has its own currency. India has rupees, Russia has rubles and all. Okay. Similarly, in the metaverse also, there will be different metaverses. For example, Facebook may create their own, Google may create one. But then there will be an open economy method where actually you can use Indian rupees after getting converted into American dollars in America. Similarly, you can use Russian rubles converted to Indian rupees used in India. Since the currencies are created on blockchain, they can be identified with their owners and they can be used in any of the different metaverses. Okay. So the question is asked like which crypto will be used? It is not one crypto, any number of cryptos. For example, if you are using in Decentraland and then there is something called mana, okay, that is that currency. So if you are using on Bitcoin blockchain, then it's Bitcoin, okay. So, but these are interoperable, they can be exchanged within and across different metaverses. The question Mr. Gagan is asking, are different metaverses connected together? Yes, okay. See, currently the attempt is to create one metaverse. I told you probably in the earlier class, see, there is only one internet and there is one Facebook and one Google. So it is not Google's internet or it is Facebook's internet. It is one internet which is at the bottom and companies are created above them. Okay. Similarly, metaverse will be open. It will be one metaverse. Many companies will be created on the metaverse, but then for the reasons of both business and social reasons, they will allow you to operate between them. Unlike today's internet, where actually you cannot use your content from Google, Gmail in your Facebook, in the metaverse, they would be interoperable. Yes, there will be multiple metaverses, but all of them would be for their own success will be interoperable. That means you can move from one metaverse to another metaverse. Any more specific question? Okay, Mr. Kaustubh is asking, okay, is there are some sort of rules and regulations set up in the metaverse? Okay, I will tell you this. Okay, look at this. So there is something called governance in the internet. Okay, so governance in the internet would actually means setting rules and regulations. For example, in the modern world, we have constitution for each countries, and there are agreements between different countries. Okay, those agreements, those constitutions will tell you what is possible, what is allowed in a particular country. Similarly, there will be sort of rules and regulations set up in the metaverse, and that is called governance. So these would include like how does a particular metaverse will act, okay, and what are the rules and regulations allowed within that. For example, in Bitcoin, the only transaction that can happen is buying and selling. But suppose if you go to Decentraland, there are rules in which actually you can own a piece of land, you can sell it and rent it, okay, also lease it, okay. Now the rules and regulation in the decentralized are slightly different from what are there in the Bitcoin. So depending on what is the nature of your metaverse, there will be sort of rules and regulations. Gautam. Hope I have answered your question. Good. So are there any questions? Okay. And Kaustav, one more thing I have to tell you is actually metaverse is completely new world. So that means there will be economy there, there will be governance there, there will be people there, and wherever there are people, we need to establish some standard practices, standard rules, regulations, including tax collection, how they drive their vehicles and all. So these all come under rules and regulations. Yeah. So any more questions? Any participants? Okay. Okay, then if not, then actually I can end my session. And in the next session, I'll be talking about the artificial intelligence in the metaverse. For example, I have covered what is blockchain now, and I have covered extended reality. In the next session, I'll be covering about artificial intelligence and how does it play an important role in the metaverse. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So thanks. Thanks. Bye.